Damn. YouTube, here we go, baby. We back. We're back. The OGs of DMV. We're back. DMV Sports 3. And today we're talking about the Commanders. The Commanders today, y'all. And we also going to talk about our boy Rio, one of our fellow YouTube guys. We're going to talk about something he said on his show. So we're going to talk about the you know what I'm saying? And then we might do a little biggest bust in the NFL too. So you gotta wait for the whole show this time, guys. The whole show, YouTube. The whole show. Hey, but let me introduce my fellas right now. You know I'm Big Al. You know, Mr. Deep Dive. Mr. Deep Dive, baby. That's me. My man to the left and to the right is my man Trey Z. You know, he's always right, Mr. Blitz. Then my man Deacon, Mr. ESPN Deacon. You know what I'm saying? Deacon. You know what I'm saying? That's my man Deacon. Hey, we here today, baby. We be talking about them Commanders. What we always say, fellas? Let's get it.
Even a hood rats, keep it real where the hood's at. Swing a wooden bats at your so-called cats. You know how we roll, y'all get up in the back. Roll call in the back. Stole the Bama, watch his ass go flat.
In DC, when you got chickens, that make it harder to get them digits. The skins and them cowboy tickets.
In DC, decay corpse, dirty Cadillacs. Desert Eagle get a blast. Watch your back. Four corners of hate, four corners of death. Four corners that'll take your last breath. Northeast, southwest, southeast, and northwest. It's the devil's diamond, feel it from your head to your chest.
YouTube, we're back, and we're talking Commanders today. It's off season. You know what I'm saying? My man, Scary Terry, finally signed a big contract. And one of the things he said that was so interesting to me is that he was getting on the next plane out to the Midwest to see his quarterback, Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz had the receivers flying in, and, you know, all of them were getting together, and they was going to break bread. They was going to do a little church revival because, you know, Carson Wentz, he believes in the man upstairs, and then they was throwing that ball around.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh man.
So, hey, hopefully our owner will go out there with him because our owner may need a little some of that man upstairs.
Big Al, hold on. He's currently unavailable. Just to let you know, he won't be answering any subpoenas today.
In an undisclosed location.
Hey, man. You never know. He might need a revival, though. I'm just saying, hey, the owner may need a little revival in him, man. Maybe
Absolutely, positively, he needs a little bit of revival.
Hey, man, Carson Wentz is our guy to do that, and he has the whole wide receiver core out there in the Midwest throwing that ball around and, you know, talking to the man upstairs.
Terry said, he did say that Carson Wentz, during the time where he wasn't at practice, Scary Terry wasn't at practice, getting his contract straightened out, that Carson Wentz was calling him, and they were bonding, and he said he's ready to go as far as being connected.
Scary was excited. We're excited for him too. But today we want to start off talking about one of our YouTube guys that we think is special. This dude is a special dude. He's doing big things in YouTube world. He's one of the he's an ambassador, I believe. Isn't he an ambassador too?
He was last year.
Last year he was an ambassador. He's a big fan. He has his own YouTube show. We'll give a special shout out to him. It's a good show. He's been on our show. So, you know, and we're gonna talk about some of the comments he made about our offense today, y'all.
What he talking about, Big Al? What he talking about?
He's talking about our offense today. He's talking about a couple comments. You know me, man. I love my offense. I love my Scott Turner. So, you know how to talk. When you say offense, I think Scott Turner. So Rio is gonna talk a little bit, and we're gonna comment about his comment about our offense, and we're gonna talk about what we think. We're gonna hear what Rio has to say because Rio's our dude, our man. You know what I'm saying? He's our guy. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about what he said. So, Deacon, can you pull that out for us?
I can pull it up, and what he said was the future was looking brighter than ever, and he was mainly talking about the offense.
It looks like for the first time in a very long time, there's general optimism and a plan on offense, and the plan doesn't involve any elder statesmen. We don't really have any age on our offense. I think 30, 31 is the oldest age on our offense. We look at the quarterback room. Heineke and Wentz are pushing 30. Sam Howell is 22. We look at the running back room. Gibson, Robinson, McKissick's on the latter side of his 20s, but the offensive line, our bookend left tackle, who we just extended this offseason, Charles Leno, 30 years old, Trey Turner, Noah Will, 30, Chase Young's Fourier still in his 20s. Sam Cosmi, second-year tackle. Young boys all across the lineup in that receiver room. Terry is the elder statesman. He's the vet in our receiver room. Terry's 26. He's going to hit the market again in 3 years. Well, through the 2025 season, so 4 years. He's going to hit the market again at 30 years old.
All right, what y'all think about that? First of all, I stopped it because he's right that we don't have a lot of older people on our team. We didn't have a lot of older people last year either, but that didn't really work out that great. You know, we still had 7 and 9 or whatever we were last year. So, I mean, he's right that we don't have a lot of older people, but, you know, that's not always good because you have veterans that help out the younger people that you bring them along. Right now, they kind of bouncing off each other, trying to figure out where we're trying to go. But he is right that I believe in the market that we're in, the DC, Maryland, Virginia market, the DMV, that there is optimism at the least about this offense. We're kind of skittish about the defense because they let us down last year. But I think the offense, I mean, people are bullish about that offense.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that Rio's my guy and everything, but that shirt was a little tight. So I was hoping that Rio would, next time Rio, put a little looser shirt on, man. He my dude, though.
Hey,
Rio,
hey,
he's my dude.
Rio,
My dude.
unlike us, Rio got lady fans, Al. You know what I'm saying? He got lady fans, man. Get the flexing on there, man.
Yeah, I see. Rio got that little medium on. That was that medium he had on, boy. He did that medium.
Much love, though. Much
Hey,
love.
He's strong.
You my guy,
He's
Rio.
strong.
He's strong. Hey, Rio, you my guy.
He's like,
man.
damn, he sees he's flexible.
But on his comment, though, he's right. We have a young squad. That's good and bad. You know, it's good that hopefully we have less injuries. We're faster. We're quicker. You know, we are, more willing to, take a little bit more chances. You know what I'm saying? We're ready to be more dynamic, but it's bad because people can trick us. We ain't seen everything yet. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had a lot of experience. I think you said, Scary Terry is our most experienced offensive player, really, in a lot of ways. Especially in the wide receiver in the skill position. So, they haven't seen everything yet. So it's going to be a little bit of learning curve, a little bit. We're still on that learning curve. Hopefully, like Ron said, the coach said, we're maturing. And this third year is a maturing year because everybody's grown up in the Commander's system. So they're maturing now. So hopefully, and my man Scott Turner knows them. He's seen them as a baby. My man Scott is. He's working up his magic in the lab right now. So he's seen it as a baby. He's seen him growing. He's seen him becoming a teenager and a young man. So Scott knows how to cultivate them and to get them to grow. You know what I'm saying? He's growing them. So I think it's a good thing. But again, Rio, a little bit looser shirt. A little bit looser shirt.
Hey. Listen, we talking about my man Rio, man. Shout out to Rio. And if y'all haven't done it, man, you need to go to his YouTube channel, man. It's an awesome show. Hey, listen, y'all ever see a organ grinder with the monkey? That's the only magic that Scott Turner's doing right now. I don't think that he understands that.
Trey,
I'm being real. That Bama, look, and the monkey tired.
No, I don't think he likes you at all. No, I don't like you either.
And so here's what I say to Rio's thing. Now, I agree with Al, is that, age doesn't always equal what I think a lot of people want to, put with age is this athletic ability.
Except for when, brothers like us, age really does matter. It matures you, maturation gets real nice, and it's like fine wine.
Hey, look.
You're correct, sir.
I ain't want to go there. But at the end of the day, man, you got individuals like, who've proven that, they used to talk about Gretzky like that. They used to talk about Jordan like that. They used to talk about guys who just changed their game with the age. And I think that's that season that Al's talking about. Now, with that being said, I got to give real credit, man. These young boys are fast and strong and they taking all the protein bars and all the shakes and whatever like that to be these characters, man. But
Boy, Jesus, they just thick. Love that bowling ball of butcher knives. So now I'm just trying to get out of that two gap. Let's go forward.
At the end of the day, that shouldn't just be a thing that we're looking at to say this is going to make us great. Youth, it's wisdom. It's how we look at the lineup. Can we identify the blitz? How are we going to be able to utilize those things through experience? And if there's anything that I can give, again, Big Al credit on, is that these guys are growing up in a system. We're not going to talk about the system. I'm going to stop right there.
Baby,
I was going to say growing up in a system. So hopefully, again, it's kind of like what I used to always think about. We all used to think, oh my goodness, it's Colt McCoy coming in the game. He's been here 30 years. He's about to show what 30 years of oh, did he just throw an interception?
Hey, Colt McCoy beat Dallas.
He beat Dallas.
Yes,
He's a legend.
Right, in his own mind. In his own mind. But no. But youth is important, and if we have time and the patience for it to grow. And that's the thing that these guys, these three, I think I speak for all of us, don't have. We want to see something immediately because we've been here. We've seen the 3 Super Bowls, but now we got to blow the dust off the books to talk about those Super Bowls. So the idea now, we want now. And so that's important. But yeah, when it comes to that, hopefully it will transition into something positive this year. Big Deacon.
Right on. So before we move on, we're going to listen to another segment of Rio, see where else he goes with that. We better go ahead and get it done before Big Al takes another bit of that Bloomsbury Farm he got back there, strawberry flavor. I saw it.
That's too strong for Al. Hey, look, Al used to get those strawberry coolers, baby. It'd be lit.
All right.
You took 2 steps.
2012, we had optimism with RG3 and Morris, but if we're going to be real with ourselves, the offense and the scheme that Kyle Shanahan drew up, the absolute sorcery that RG3 was doing to defenses in that scheme, and how RG3's impact opened lanes and opportunities for Alfred Morris. That's all. They're really all we had on offense that year. Santana was at the very ending stage. He was at the swan song stage of his career. He was catching touchdowns, but he wasn't a volume guy at the time. But that offense was predicated around 2 guys. We literally have young talent in every room on the offensive side of the ball. And
every side of the ball. Listen, it was a good time when we drafted Bobby Three Legs. It was a good time. Alfred Morris was a good pickup late. I believe that Gerson was more important than Moss was that year.
Yeah.
That he was here.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So, but, and listen, that we won the division that year. We won the division. We won it. We didn't fall into it. We won the division that year. We beat Dallas on that last game. Sent the old Romo packing, which was funny. It's a tragedy that RG3's leg just gave out on him. Which next week, fellas, we're gonna be talking about some big busts that are out there. Whether
allegedly,
alleged busts, other teams, but that's for next week. But the point is, I'm trying to say that he's right about that year where we were, that was the scheme was made around RG3 and his talents and what he could and couldn't do. I'm hoping that Scott Turner takes note of that and figure out exactly what Wentz can do and what Wentz can't do.
With what he has.
Yes, you got to structure your offense around your players and not your players around your offense. It works better that way only because it takes less time. And you can add stuff on the fly as you go. Right. But if Scott Turner is going to succeed this year, he has to figure out what this guy can and can't do. He figured out what Heineke couldn't do. Couldn't go downfield. Can't throw it that far. He figured out what Alex Smith could do. Accurate. Can't throw it that far. He figured out what Terry can do. Good pattern. So I will give him credit for having to work with what he has and making that work as best as possible. But he has no more excuses this year.
None. Thank you, Deacon. Now, let me jump in real quick to say this. I think Rio was associating the youth of Bobby Three Sticks and Alpha Morris is the reason why we were doing what we were doing. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I really do think that at the time, who was the offensive coordinator at the time, Big Al?
It was Shanahan's son. Shanahan's son. San Francisco's coach now.
Right. So that particular individual recognized the talent that he had. And he was able to put a scheme together that honestly shook up the league. The Washington then Redskins were the team to reinvent the run option to the point where individuals had to figure it out. And Rio was exactly right. The athletic ability of this quarterback that we had at the time and opened up the lanes for at the time, we didn't think was going to be such an awesome running back. And I'm going to say that he proved himself, unfortunately, I found that out as he was on the other side of the ball, that he's actually a pretty decent running back if he has the right scheme. No, he's not an Adrian Peterson. No, he's not a Barry Sanders. But when the right scheme, he can, identify the lanes. He has a vision, and he was able to do what he needed to do, and enough speed to get down the field, which is what a running back is paid to do. And so I give credit to coaching. Deacon said it. There's no excuse this year. You got the people. You got the things in place. Come on, Scott. I'm rooting for him, Al. I am. Am I as confident as I want to be?
Well, I'm going to say this. Rio, I hear what you're saying. You're right. The coaching back then for Bobby Three Sticks was great for that, especially that first year where Bobby was young. Like you said, Alfred was young. He used that youth to make up a whole new offense for the NFL, and it worked. And unfortunately, we didn't win the Super Bowl that year because Bobby Three Sticks got hurt. But we'd probably been a candidate to beat 49ers for Super Bowl that particular year because they actually took our offense and went to Super Bowl with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it worked, and I think that this year is a little bit different, though, fellas.
It's a lot.
Ron has ran the whole organization on what Scott likes to do and the type of player Scott wants. That particular year that Bobby Three Sticks took over, Deacon's boy was making the picks. The owner was making all the picks that year. Okay, so the coach's scheme, the Deacon's boy was making the picks. So the coaching staff had to adapt what the owner wanted. But these last 3 years, Ron is making the picks. Him and Scott are conversing. They're picking. Actually, Scott has picked these guys too. So we're ready. This is our year. We're mature. I want to reassure you, Scott has an offense for his guys. Now he has his quarterback. He's ready to go. You two Commander fans, get ready. There are going to be points on the board this year. I'm reassuring you that.
I'll take that.
And once again, I'm going to double down what I've been saying in the last 3 shows.
Deacon.
Run the ball.
Double down.
We double down. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to throw deep, chunk plays. Right. Run the ball, and we're going to throw deep, chunk plays. Okay. Look for it. And I'm telling you right now, Scary Terry's going to be one-on-one coverage, and they're going to play back on him because they're scared of my man Winston's arm. So they're going to be 10 yards back. So Scary going to run a 10-yard out or 20-yard out. It'll be wide open. Look for that. 10 to 20-yard outs wide open with that strong arm. So look for that.
Okay, I'm with that. I mean, I don't
like
mind
that. I actually like that. I got it. I mean, that's nice. Thank you.
Hey man, me and Scott got it. Me and Scott got it, baby.
Big Al doubled down on Scott. Deacon on the bus. What will Mr. Always Right say? I don't know.
I was trying to get through the segment before the guy took another drink at that Bloomsbury Farm. But we're gonna do one more segment with Rio real quick.
Splurers and Berry.
Hey man,
we was only gonna do 2, but we're gonna do 3 now because I see everybody's in the hyper mood.
Hey man, Rio man, that tight shirt.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to get
off my man.
I see.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Well,
that don't say Washington. It don't even say Washington is so tight.
I saw you try to hide that cognac in that cup tray. We're good. We're gonna look at one more time.
We're not up there in age. We're finally one of the younger teams in the league. We're finally drafting and developing guys. I'm looking at the wide receiver room specifically. specific. Oh, the tight end room as well. Logan Thomas is the vet in the room, coming off an ACL tear. He's probably going to start the season on the pup, but we're good. John Bates, our last year's 5th round pick out of Boise State. We thought he was just going to be another Jeremy Sprinkle, hand in the dirt, fill-in type of guy. He showed some wiggle. He showed the ability to have natural hands, and he looked like a natural tight end out there. We drafted this kid out of Nevada, Cole Turner. Looks like a fucking superhero in a uniform with the long curly locks coming out the helmet. We have young talent in every position room, man.
All right, so that's it for Mr. Rio. Listen, if you want to go watch his show, man, I encourage y'all to sub his channel.
You gotta go, because that was only the tip of the iceberg. The man is awesome, man. Phenomenal dude, man.
Great dude.
So what y'all think about that, man? What y'all think about the last segment?
Well, he was talking as if he was talking about the Avengers. I didn't necessarily see that. But, you know, we always get excited about our young players, and he's exactly right. The enthusiasm is there. I think I'm feeling a little bit what Al said. I was watching Rio on Natty's show. You got to give a shout out to my man Natty. And they both said something very clearly to me that struck to me. They said they never seen their team over 10 games. I said,
wow, that's horrible.
I said, wow. And you know what? I said, daggone. You know, so when I listen to him, I understand the excitement because, you know, as everybody say, we do. I mean, if you watch a team all your life and to be a fan and never seen anything.
Win more than 10 games.
I mean, and I think that's what they said. I mean, I got to go back and listen. It was that, but they never really saw anything because we, you know, when we went to the playoffs, we were 7-9. You know, it was, you know, this is where we fall into these categories. So I think I'm right. But at the end of the day, I do understand the young man's enthusiasm.
Right.
I have been there, so have all of you. So I just caution him. I caution you, Rio, to just wait. Let's get to the point where we can see game 3, we're gonna know where we are. Game 3, we're gonna all know. All of Washington will know where we are. And that is when your enthusiasm is gonna go through the roof, or you're going to realize that, hey, man, it's a lot of work, man, because we do got a lot of things going on. But shout out to Rio once again, man. I hear you, but I've seen a lot of things in practice. No pads yet, young man, no pads. And one thing about Big Al and Deacon, you know, when it comes to a bunch of people in the mouth, it's a whole different ball game, especially when you're trying to make the team.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that one, Trey Z. We got to see them hit, you know, be physical and see where we at on the physical tip. I know, hey, the rest of the division is looking forward to playing us. You know, they got it down as a win. You know, but me and my man Scott Turner, we got a plan. We got a plan. So we're out here. That's all I got to say, Deacon.
All right, well, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, listen, I don't want to jump on anybody's excitement. I want them to be excited. I want them to look forward to the season.
That's
jump
right.
on the board with me, Super Bowl or bust. I'm just saying. That's just, you know, that's just me every year. Super Bowl or bust. So we'll
go back.
You got different teams with their own bus. You got Matt Leinart. He played in the league a while, although he
played for us. He was one of our quarterbacks.
He was the first round pick too, though. So it kind of marks him as a bust because he never did work out. Achilles Smith, another, but he was a bust.
He was that.
Ryan Leaf, he blew himself up. You know, yeah, he never returned out anything. Johnny Manziel, bust, too small.
Johnny quarterback.
Yeah, too small. He was a legend in Texas, but not in the league. DeMarcus Russell, that was a big bust.
Sizzle, he liked to drink that sizzle.
Yeah, but
Sizzle. Yeah, he was a drinker.
Brian Bosworth. Now you had a question about that, Big Al. Was he a bust or not?
Well, I mean, he played pretty good ball until your boy Bo Jackson ran him over.
Bo Jackson was an embarrassment.
So for those young folks, see, a lot of us we sitting here running down this thing. A lot of young folk don't know who these players.
They don't know who these people are.
So, which is the reason why Big Al came up with the idea that we're going to do next week the Commanders, Washington Redskins. So a lot of them, if they are old, would at least have heard about the guys. But
if you're a true fan,
if I'm looking at this thing right now, the league has already given Ryan Leaf the title. Ryan Leaf got the title from the league.
Wait, oh, you sure that Jamarcus Russell wasn't the biggest bust around league?
No.
You sure?
Let me tell you why. Real talk, Jamarcus Russell was a quarterback. He's one of those first black quarterbacks. And unfortunately, due to systemic situations, they always consider us as we made it there on our athletic talent. So
He got fat.
No, he didn't get fat. He didn't get fat. He had a serious addiction, man. I mean, I want you to check out. There's a young man that I actually watch, and he don't even know us, but I'm gonna go ahead and shout him out. Flimlow Raps. He does an awesome show on certain athletes, and he did. I think he did one on Jamarcus Russell, man. You gotta watch it. He gets deep and breaks it down, man. This guy had a serious.
He had a sickness.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing I want to mention. Going back to Brian Bosworth. Brian Bosworth was the example of what a lot of our players, unfortunately, when we're going to talk about ours, get, which is he was right around the time when the media became bigger than the player. So the way they promoted Brian Bosworth in college and whatever, I mean, just imagery or whatever, he was this phenomenon. Now, could that guy play? Absolutely, he could play. But the thing was, it was so big that it was like Tyson Buster Douglas. When Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas, people immediately said Tyson was a bum. How can you ever say Mike Tyson knocked everybody out in 30 seconds was a bum? But because he couldn't live up to, and this was right around the time, and I always talk about this, right around the time when video games were popular and this and that. And what did the youth do? When they get to a point, they have that undefeated season and they realize they're not going to win the game, they hit reset. And they pretend that they went all the way to the season undefeated. No, you lost, but you were able to fix that loss. And when you do that, you don't ever get those heroic stories about teams and players. The reason why Buffalo is even talked about, they're the worst team in the NFL to be considered a contender or whatever 4 times to the Super Bowl and lose back to back. But they lost so well. They played hard, and it just for them to get there so many times, we still looked at them as that's a decent team.
Because we knew they were going to lose.
And they still
everybody was like, please don't let Buffalo win.
I mean, it's sad, but it's sad when you think about it. Shout out to the Buffalo fans. For those people to be fans still, can you imagine with our 3 Super Bowl wins, and we talk about it so far ago, these guys right now, have they ever won one? Are they on that list of never won a Super Bowl?
They ain't on that list, man. They ain't on that list.
I don't know. The fact that I don't know says a lot. So
but I think Brian Bosworth, after what's the name ran him over, the next season he quit.
Well, and I'll throw this in because I think I remember now. I think Brian Bosworth had a muscle problem.
Yeah,
I think he had like some kind of condition as well, where he lost muscle mass. He couldn't keep muscle mass.
Yeah, it's called steroids.
No, it was something else.
Allegedly.
Let's move on.
Allegedly.
Currently, for all our young folk, if I was to choose one, just for our young folk, because I really still have Ryan Leaf with the NFL, because he was also promoted to be Joe Namath's Montana / when he came out, there was no stopping Ryan Leaf, and he never could.
Yeah, there was a debate whether he was better than
Peyton Manning.
Tennessee Peyton Manning. Both of them came out same draft 1-2.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was they were on top. It was like neither one of them could lose.
Unstoppable.
You couldn't lose by picking either one of them. And actually, I think didn't Ryan Leaf get traded
to Dallas?
No. I'm talking about during the draft. When he picked and then got traded to
something like that. Yeah, maybe something like that.
Anyway, you're right. Big bust.
Yeah.
But let's go with the last 3. You got Courtney Brown, who I as an older fella don't even remember. I still don't remember him.
Yeah,
Trent Richardson,
running
never
back.
amounted to anything. And then you got Tony Mandridge, who was basically a workout warrior.
Yeah,
And that's how he got
allegedly,
drafted. 'Cause he
steroids,
was huge.
allegedly.
That's all.
Hey man, my vote is Johnny Manziel. Johnny football. Is my vote.
That's what I was about to say too.
My vote is Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
They hyped him up too. They hyped.
But you know what? Let me just say this.
He played longer than Ryan Leaf though.
Johnny Manziel's problem was himself. He self-imploded. He was good at what he did. You know, if Johnny Manziel was clean and disciplined, he was Heineke plus.
I don't know.
He was Heineke plus, same size.
He liked the sauce better than he liked football.
No.
He had money already.
He imploded
because
he got a lot of money.
He was already rich. When he was already doing
his family already had money. And he was good in college, and doesn't always translate.
Johnny Manziel was great in college. He wasn't good.
Yeah. He was a prominent college quarterback that it never translated into the NFL. Even his own field play.
When Johnny got $1 million, he just needed one. When he got $1 million, it was over. Johnny was partying. Johnny was doing all the things. And you know what? There's some stories that you will find that a lot of NFL players, they were able to do that. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. There's a lot of NFL players.
And that was also before social media, too.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel got put up with social media.
You can do your thing.
Yeah, that's facts.
Hey, man, I hear that go-go
Johnny Manziel age itself.
Wrap it up, big guy. Wrap it up.
I hear that go-go, Deacon. I hear it, baby. I hear Tracy.
You ain't hear no go-go.
Nah, I hear it, baby. I'm ready to do the happy feet. Y'all know nobody know happy feet.
Like they don't know about your boy down there.
Play dance.
Trent Richardson, that was terrible too.
Yeah, that was a whole.
He was terrible.
All right, gentlemen, we're gonna get out of here. That's this week's performance. The show is over.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next week with our 9. And if you want to, you can put your 9 down in the comments. That way, we'll see if we match.
Commander bus.
Commander, Redskins, or the Washington football team.
Yeah.
So all three.
We got to say that now. I like that. Yeah.
All 3 of those work out. So let's give us our 9, and we'll see if our 9 matches up. We're going to cross at some point because 9 is a lot.
Yep.
So we all going to have the same one on there somewhere at some point. Gentlemen, the show is over.
See y'all.
And it's knocking right at your door. See, it ain't changed unless you make it change. Listen. See, yesterday, a man said to me, and he said, how can you smile when your world is tumbling down? And I said, so here's my seat. When I want to cry, I take a look around, and I see that I'm getting by, and I hold on. My change is coming. Hold on. Yeah. Don't worry about a thing. Just hold on. So we gon' make it. Just hold on. Yeah. Listen, some people like to work. Some people like to hide. What else they like to do? Some people like to run away from the pain inside. Oh, well, that's your business. Well, only what you wanna do. Oh, but if it don't work out, here's what you wanna do. You just hold on. The change is coming. You gotta hold on. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Oh, hold on. Oh, we gon' make it. Hold on. Yeah. Everything will be alright. Let's take a back real quick, Deuce. As I look back over my life, I can see